I'm starting a new series on this channel. I'm going to be telling you everything I went through from buying and converting this van to travelling and solving issues all on my own. I think there's something to be celebrated navigating this whole van life thing as a woman on your own. We see a lot of solo men and so many couples out there converting vans, and I want to show you that anyone can live this lifestyle. You don't need to have any building skills, car knowledge, or a significant other to help you out along the way. I did it, and you can too. I'm calling this series Vanlife 101, and today we're starting with buying the van. When I made the decision that I wanted a van, I started looking at second-hand ones. So I looked at second-hand vans that were already converted online. I looked at a ton of them, and there were some really nice ones, but a lot of them were really old. They were about 10 or plus years old, and that made me really nervous. As someone that doesn't know cars or doesn't really have an interest with cars, I didn't want to buy something that was always going to break down and I'd have to figure out how to repair it. So I thought the best option was to buy a brand new one. I was going to be traveling on my own a lot, so I wanted something that was safe and reliable, and I wanted something that I could figure out how it worked and the things that went wrong with it. I didn't want to have to know the whole history of a van if I bought a second-hand one. I also wanted a pretty specific layout in my van, and I couldn't find any van online that was similar to what I wanted and had all the features of what I wanted. So I decided that I was going to get a converter to build my van. Now, I know I could have done it myself, and even though I didn't have the skills, I knew that I could learn them eventually. But this was June, July of 2020, and I planned to visit my family in Adelaide in December. I knew if I was doing this build myself, I wouldn't have enough time to get it all done by December. So I decided to get a professional converter. And by doing that, if I was going to invest money on a professional converter, I may as well give them a brand new van to start with. Working with a professional and spending so much money on that work, I figured I should give them a brand new van to work with. I didn't want to spend a heap of money on a brand new fit out on a second-hand van. It just meant that everything was new. I could trust that the quality of the build was great, the van was reliable, and it just helped me out because I know that I was going to be doing this all on my own. By choosing a brand new van and getting a professional to convert the inside, I knew that I was going to get everything that I'd planned, and this made me a little bit more excited about the whole process. So when I decided to buy my brand new van and get it fitted out, I actually had the idea that I would start renting it out. So I would do all the travel that I wanted to do in the van, but when I wasn't using it, I was going to rent it, put my van online on a website. We've got a great one in Australia called Camplify, and it was really popular. So you'd get a lot of eyes on your listing. Because I would have had a brand new van and a brand new fit out, I could have got top dollar for my rental, and it just looked really exciting. I could have made a heap of money and paid off what I was going to invest buying the van. So I contacted a local accountant just to get financial advice on how to legally set up buying the van, setting it up as a business, and doing all my tax, things like that. Unfortunately, he wasn't really keen on helping me out, but he did give me the contact details of a finance guy who could get me a van loan. So I had a heap of money saved up, but I didn't have enough to buy a brand new van and to do the fit out as well. I figured I would use my money for the fit out and then get a vehicle loan to pay off the van. I had already looked at a few vans in dealerships myself, so I knew what was out there. I knew I wanted something with a high roof, and I was thinking I wanted a medium wheelbase van. So a medium wheelbase gave me enough space to have everything I wanted in my internal layout, but it was short enough that I could fit inside a standard car park. My options were a Mercedes Sprinter, a Ford Transit, or a Volkswagen Crafter. I really liked the look and feel of the Transit, and I got inside the Crafter and I didn't really feel comfortable at all. I couldn't get into a Mercedes Sprinter though. I liked the look of it in pictures. I just really wanted to try it out on the inside first though. I made contact with my finance guy, so he started the process of the loan, But he connected me with a car guy. I'm going to call him like a car buyer. I wasn't too keen on this. I've had a lot of bad experiences with mechanics and car salesmen in the past, and I just thought I didn't need this service. I had done a bit of research myself. I thought I knew the van that I wanted to buy, and I thought I could do it on my own. Now, I'm not bad-mouthing car salesmen or mechanics. My dad was actually one for most of my life growing up, but I'm just trying to say that the good ones are few and far between. Here's a special note to all you car guys out there. Don't undermine your female clients. We are smarter than you think. Yes, most of us don't get excited about the sound of an engine, but it doesn't mean we won't understand you if you talk to us like a human being. There, that's my rant done. So my car guy was Chris, and he was one of the good ones. So if you're in Sydney and want a service like this, hit me up and I'll pass over his details. So Chris knew his stuff. He knew his cars. He had been in the industry for quite a long time. He didn't have quite the experience with vans, but he was willing to learn, and he did all the research that we needed to get me exactly what I wanted. He was already thinking a high roof and a medium wheelbase, so we were on the right page right from the beginning. He let me know about the Ford Transit. He said they were kind of unreliable and they tended to break down a lot, so he vetoed that straight away. I was a little bit disappointed because I was really keen on the Transit, but I trusted Chris's advice, so that was off the table. So we had the Sprinter and the Crafter left. Because it was 2020, everyone had decided to go out and buy a van. International travel was shut down. Let's get a van and let's travel Australia. Vans were limited and he was really struggling to get a Mercedes Sprinter. So he was looking at the Crafters. I was kind of disappointed because I had been inside one and I didn't really feel good about it. The way that Chris works is he works direct with the dealership, so I didn't have to deal with any of that. He was communicating everything that I needed to know, and he was doing all the background stuff without me being involved, which was kind of fantastic. Then he got some really great news. There was a Mercedes Sprinter available to buy. So he came to me during a work day, brought the van, and we took it for a test drive around the streets. As soon as I got in the Sprinter, everything just felt right. It drove so well. It was such a massive van, but it just felt comfortable for me to drive. It was brand new, so it had all the new features and all the settings to make driving the van so much easier. I pretty much decided then and there that this was the van that I was going to purchase. During this time, I had researched converters and had found one with an open slot in October, which gave them just enough time to convert my van before my planned trip to Adelaide in December. So Chris gave me some even better news. So in the beginning, he wasn't too keen on the Sprinter because they were really expensive and they were way above my budget. That's why he was focused on the Crafter. But this Sprinter that he had located, he had gotten an excellent deal on it. He had found a brand new 2019 Mercedes Sprinter that had only been on the showroom floor. It was selling for $20,000 less than what he thought we could get one for, so we snapped that baby up pretty quick. I'm going to take this opportunity to apologise to Chris after my initial judgment on his services. He was worth every single cent I paid for this van. So that figure that I paid for the Mercedes Sprinter was all that I owed. His commission came out of that, and he got me a van that was way under what I could have got myself if I walked into a dealership. This is the value of getting a professional car buyer when you need to make that purchase of your brand new van. After all the rushing around we did to get the van signed up before my conversion, I actually got it delivered 4 weeks before I was booked in. Now, I didn't just leave it sitting on my driveway empty. I took it away. I went on adventures in that empty van. So I had a blow-up mattress and I packed all the things that I needed for a weekend away and I went traveling. It was so much fun. I want to tell you though, it was so damn cold in that van. I fully appreciate the insulation in my van now because I was freezing. It was really fun to be in the van though before it was converted. It kind of was my unofficial start to van life and I really loved it. Now the day finally came when I was handing over my empty van for a complete fit out. Now to hear that story, you're going to have to watch the next episode. So stay tuned, it'll be out soon. But until then, if you've got any questions about this whole process, let me know in the comments below and I'll help you out. I hope you enjoyed this new series and I'll see you next time.